MVP. Brady, the favorite to win his 4th award, followed by Rodgers, Allen, Kyler, and Patrick Mahomes.
Get Allen the hell out of here. Josh Allen, fuck that. We need to have a meeting. Get Josh Allen the hell out of here, Jenna.
We'll get to you before. We got to get to our MVP, Chris Broussard, first. Brew, the player most likely to challenge Tom Brady for MVP is blank.
Jamie. Yeah, I wouldn't normally do this, but I feel like it's important I just tell the audience so they know. I did in the preseason pick Tom Brady. He was my pick to win MVP, so that we'll see how that works out.
Fair
but
is fair.
The guy, look, this guy has just steadily climbed, steadily, as others have fallen off, and that's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, of all the quarterbacks, including Brady, they've all had a couple of games where they were off, right? Where they just seem like they're slumping a little bit. And Rodgers hasn't. His first game, obviously, against New Orleans, he was bad. They get blown out 38-3. He's got 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. Since then, he has been good to outstanding every single week. He also, Nick, has signature wins that even Tom Brady doesn't have. They beat the Rams. He plays well, throws for over 300 yards, I believe, and a couple of touchdowns. They beat Cincinnati, throws for the same thing, over 300 yards, a couple of touchdowns. They beat Arizona without Devontae Adams. He plays great. And even in the loss that he had after New Orleans against Minnesota, he threw for 4 touchdown passes in that loss. So Aaron Rodgers is climbing, and if Brady stumbles and has a few bad games, Rodgers could overtake him, but clearly right now it's Brady.
Clearly right now, Brady is the deserved favorite, and this was a good pick by Broussard, unlike his dark horse MVP pick, which was an utter abomination, if we're being totally honest.
They can't seem to win without him.
It was, it was just...
They were right there in the hunt with him.
If you don't know.
However,
5-2,
0-5.
I'm not going to say Rodgers. I'm obviously not going to say Josh Allen. Like, I really don't understand what's been happening with these Josh Allen odds all year. I don't understand. But I would like to discuss something with Kevin Wildes for a moment, if I may. First, a little historical note, because I gambled heavily on this award last year. So I want the audience to know. Last year at this time, Mahomes was -500. So you think Brady's a big favorite right now? Last year, Mahomes, at the beginning of December, you had to bet $500 to win $100. He ended up finishing 3rd. I say that to say this, and it's not, by the way, he didn't lose another game the rest of the year. He was a huge favorite, never lost, and he didn't get it. Why? Because how you finish drastically sways this award. Rodgers went on a crazy tear at the end of last year, as did Josh Allen. That's the history of this award, okay? So there can be some upheaval. So if I'm asking who could overtake Tom Brady, Wildes, I think it might be a guy
Here we go.
who has not played up to his standards this year, but despite that, is 5th in the NFL in passing yards, 5th in passing touchdowns. So the numbers are there. Has a schedule where one could say, wait, is he going to finish the year on a 10-game winning streak? 10-game winning streak. And you might, listen, I understand some people are going to say, Nick, this is as ridiculous as Wilde's crooked tie. I'm telling you right now, there is some value at Patrick Mahomes at 10-1 right now. There is some value at Patrick Mahomes if the Chiefs finish winning the next 5, they're favored in all of them, and if the Patriots just have to lose one time, if Kansas City ends up with the 1 seed, and Mahomes has his strongest month, his final month, if Brady stumbles, it will be Mahomes overtaking him, not Rodgers, and that's without even Wildes including. I do think Rodgers cost himself, fair or not, 3 to 5 of the 50 eligible MVP votes with the COVID nonsense and the lashing out. I do think for some people, call it 10% of the voting population, I think they're going to say you missed a game, your team lost it, you didn't need to miss that game. So for all those reasons, I know it surprised the audience, I wouldn't write off Patrick Mahomes just yet, Wilds.
I know, but are you making an I don't think you made a bad argument at all. But are you making a value proposition?
I never do.
Like, it's like if we were in the NBA, like, you know what, Broussard? I'm going to put $100 on the Heat to win the championship. Like, oh, look at the odds. Like, they could do it. But in your heart of hearts, you know it actually can't happen. So are you making a real argument, or are you making a probability poker Nick Wright argument?
No, I am making a real argument, Broussard, in this regard. I think Brady is actually undervalued right now. I think Brady is the prohibitive favorite. However, I also feel like the Bucs might have a couple more losses in them. And Brady, we saw him have a shaky moment at the end of the first half against the Falcons. I think no AB. I think Brady's numbers might depress a bit. And if that door opens, Broussard, you're in the media. We're all in the media. But you have a vote for NBA awards, right? I don't, because the world is not a fair place. You know as well as I do that narratives can all of a sudden sway these things. Bill Simmons talks about it all the time. Karl Malone won an MVP award in the late 90s that really it started with a Jackie McMullen column. Jackie wrote, is Karl Malone actually the MVP this year? And then everyone started saying, wait, is he actually the MVP this year? And if the Chiefs win streak creeps up to 7, 8, 9, if they become the 1 seed, don't you think there will be a media groundswell of, my God, we've been unfair to Mahomes. He's 3rd in yards, he's 3rd in touchdowns. The team is en route to 13. Don't you think that's in play, Broussard?
Yeah, Nick, it's definitely possible. Like, Mahomes is not out of it. I think he's far more in it than Josh Allen. I'm with you. I have no idea, and I've been saying this for weeks. How in the world is Josh Allen still in the top 3? So, but it's going to take more than the win streak, Nick. His numbers are going after, and you're right, his numbers overall really aren't bad. We're judging him by a Jordan-esque standard, right? That's why we're looking down on what he's done so far. But if they have a win streak and he doesn't have to do what he did the previous years, but his, 3 touchdowns a game, 300 yards and stuff like that. Like, if he does that and Brady stumbles, to your point, and Rodgers would have to stumble too. Because, look, there are a few media members that will hold it against him, but I think overall, guys will let that go unless it's nip and tuck, and then you'll hold that against Rodgers. So, but no, Mahomes is not out of it. You made a good argument.
All right, you did mention Josh Allen. The only thing worse than being allowed to throw the ball just 3 times is losing to a team whose quarterback threw the ball just 3 times. How's Bills Mafia feeling this Tuesday morning?
Jenna.
We break it down next. First things first.
Bills Mafia. Small